In the case of this spy that I had in the anti-cult movement, we were predicting attacks all over the country with that person. I think maybe I was the only one who had successfully infiltrated the anti-cult movement because of what my seniors at USGO were saying. They were always calling me, going, "Who's getting deprogrammed next?" And I said, "Well, isn't anybody else out there working besides me? Don't you have any other spies out there to tell you?" Because they wanted to know what was happening in New York and Florida and everywhere else, right? Asking me. And I was up in San Francisco. We predicted deprogrammings and other considered cults, Mooney deprogrammings, you name it, you know. We predicted those as well and prevented a lot of them from happening. We consider them allies, you know, and so if a moon was going to be deprogrammed, we would predict that, and we would let them know, and they would go hide the person or whatever they had to do, you know, to stop that from happening. That happened because of our spies. Mostly, I mean, our primary interest, of course, was Scientologists. We predicted those and prevented those from happening. I did read one of the policies where it said that we weren't supposed to do anything illegal. I became aware in the course of my training that things were being done that were illegal. I went to the Deputy Guardian for Intelligence U.S. By the way, we didn't call it the Information Bureau. We called it Intelligence, what it was. Calling it the Information Bureau was the only time we referred to it that way was when we were talking to somebody who wasn't in the GO. And that was kind of our cover, you know, that we were information. We never told them we were intelligence. But amongst ourselves, we didn't call ourselves information. We were intelligence. So anyway, I read, you know, don't do anything illegal. I went to the Deputy Guardian Intelligence U.S., who was Terry Milliner. I said, some people aren't following this policy. They're doing things that are illegal. And he knew about it. That's what I found out. He says, yeah, I know about that. And I said, well, they're violating policy. You know, what's the story here? You know, do we break the law? And he says, well, we don't actually break the law. We just bend it a little bit, you know. And he says, you know, he drew a line on his desk. This guy was kind of a crazy guy anyway. And and he says, there's the law, you know, and he says, we cross over that line, and then we, for a little bit, and then we kind of scurry back and try to get back and stay within the law. And so I said, well, the conclusion I came to was that, one, he knew about it, two, he was condoning it, and I, out of fear, did not take it any higher than that. I just dropped it. Because I figured if he knew about it, then the worldwide knew about it, and I figured Mary Sue knew about it, and I couldn't imagine her withholding anything from Ron. I figured he must know about it too, so if I make any waves up lines about it to try to get that activity stopped, you know, then I would be dog meat, you know, so I just dropped it. As far as Intelligence Bureau's handling of people, there's an issue. I don't think it has a title. Nobody signed it. It's not any kind of a formal issue. It was just typing on a piece of paper. My impression was that LRH had written it because I can't imagine anybody else in the organization writing this and getting away with it. They would have been pounded into the dirt for having written it. And, you know, unless it was him. That's the way I looked at it, plus the way it was written. Just like Intelligence Roll, it seemed to me that was his writing style. But he, you know, basically what this issue said was the way that the Intelligence Bureau handled things was that you perform something that I'll say, what I call them is a black intelligence operation, and I'm not the only one who called them that. They're called black ops. One of the datums that we were taught is anybody that attacks Scientology has crimes. That doesn't just mean crimes against Scientology, it just means crimes in general, and the normal society definition and idea of what a crime is. We were supposed to investigate the background of anybody who attacked and find out what their crimes were. And then prosecute them for it. That was the basic idea. If we couldn't, and the first thing that would happen with anybody who attacked is there's two types of data collection. One is called overt data collection, which we called ODC. The other type of data collection to be done was covert data collection, which was called CDC. We did both on any given attacker. We always did ODCs on them, and we always did CODCs on them. The overt data collection was just stuff that was publicly available through public records, telephone books, library information, court documents, traffic tickets, you name it. You know, we checked every possible source, voter registration records, you know, just everything you could think of, and gathered as much information about that person's background as we could obtain. Then we had a general picture of the person. We knew who his relatives were and who he was connected to, where he worked, all that kind of stuff. That came from overt data collection. Then you'd go into covert data collection, which was essentially, you know, probably getting a spy in on the person and trying to find out what kind of misdeeds the guy was up to, you know, what are this guy's crimes, you know, what is he doing? Is he cheating on his wife? Is he, you know, taking drugs? Is he doing anything else that broke any kind of a law whatsoever? You know, that's what we were looking for in our covert data collection. If we found crimes, we tried to get the person prosecuted and put in jail. That was the product that we wanted. That was the ideal scene. Get this guy behind bars, you know, for criticizing Scientology, basically. That's where you wanted them. You wanted them in jail. That was the ideal product to be obtained. Now, a lot of times we could not find this person committing crimes to put him in jail for. Maybe because he didn't have any, and maybe because we just couldn't find him. Either way. And I believe in a lot of cases it was just because the guy didn't really have any. The datum wasn't true. That just because they attacked, they had crimes. I didn't find that to be a one-for-one situation anyway. So now what do you do that you can't find any actual crimes? Well, that's what this particular hatting thing was about. Was